This is Brian Steele, Creature Boy, and I say you better visit without your head.
Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil. I'm joined by Rashaad Santiago, and he's got a really cool project, Terror from Beyond Beyond, which we're going to be talking about.
Awesome.
Yeah. So actually, for people who don't know yet, can you explain to them what Terror from Beyond Beyond is?
Well, Terror from Beyond Beyond is a 1950s stylized monster movie that me and my buddies have just come up with the concept and the idea. And it started as a joke. And I made it a point to, whenever we came up with ideas, let's just take it all the way through. Let's just take it from start to finish and see if we can make it into an actual project. So rather than trying to shoot a full feature, I figured it'd be a lot easier and more affordable if we did a short, and basically get all the ideas and the whole storytelling aspect in a shorter form. And it's going to be all practically done, from the puppet, which is here, the puppet of the creature,
awesome.
to the actual full creature suit, doing miniatures, the whole nine.
Yeah, that creature looks awesome, and I love like old school stop motion and monsters, and just the little videos you have up on the Kickstarter page are tremendous.
Thank you. Yeah, those are just like little samples that we have, just to show people like what is going to be done on a much larger scale. And it's been fun, you know. It's the films that we grew up watching and loved, and just trying to make something that's, you know, I don't really see too many films like that being made.
No.
You see a lot of other films, or, you know, zombies or whatever has been taking over now. But you don't really see too much. Yeah. You don't really see too much stop motion. You don't really see too much. Let me rephrase that. You do see stop motion, but they're, you know, like the little kid movies.
Yeah.
You don't really see stop motion. Yeah, you see stop motion modernized. It's not the style that we, you know, again, grew up with and loved. So there's going to be a combination of that with puppetry and suitmation.
Mm-hmm. I assume you're a fan of Ray Harryhausen, because
yes,
that's like the king of stop motion as far as I'm concerned.
Yep.
Yeah, I tried to get him on the show many times before he passed away, but it never quite worked out.
Yes, we lost a legend, and I only got a little piece. I don't know how long it took. I know for that clip that I have on the Kickstarter, it took 488 pictures to make that 16-second long cut. But he did whole films doing the back and forth before they even had the modern programs. Now, I shot that on my phone, but traditionally done, you do it with a camera and you know, back and forth. And they have remotes now to where you can press the remote, move it, press the remote. But I couldn't imagine doing an entire film like that.
Yeah, it's insane. Is there any ones that stand out to you, like either creatures or movies, that like, hey, this is something that appeals to me?
Well, when I first started, it was Godzilla. The 1954 was the first one that I could remember watching as a kid, that I was like, that's one really cool, because at that point I was, you know, a fan of dinosaurs and dragons and lizards and snakes, and Godzilla was just like this other thing that just looked like it combined all of my favorite things that I liked. So that was the first, and then from there it just kind of snowballed into all the other, you know, it was just, I had to consume every type of monster there was. So Creature from the Black Lagoon, Wolfman, Frankenstein, The Mummy, and Predator, Alien, King Kong, Jaws, you name it. Just if it didn't have a monster in it, it really didn't capture my interest. Which is the way I am now. It's got to be some form of beast, or, I mean, there's some other ones that slip through there, you know, just because they were interesting. But for the most part, that's where my love comes from.
Yeah, a lot of those are here behind me.
I see.
Wolfman.
I see them.
Yeah. And I was very happy years ago to have Ben Chapman on the show, Creature from the Black Lagoon, for the land scenes. But yeah, and that still holds up, that movie, which actually all that all that stuff still holds up. But Creature
Oh,
from
yeah.
Black Lagoon, I think, is really before its day.
Yep. Without him, I was watching a documentary, and the guy was basically saying that without Creature, you know, we wouldn't have had all the other great monsters that we had that followed him. He kind of paved the way for all of them, and he's still one of my favorites.
Yeah. Do you have a background in creating the monsters and doing the stop motion?
No, sir.
Okay.
Those are all things that I watched either documentaries or behind the scenes footage of, and just tried it, just tested it out, you know, case of trial and error many times.
That's really interesting because I'm friends with a lot of independent filmmakers, and a lot of them, you know, didn't go to film school, and a lot of them learned either watching listening to commentary tracks or watching behind the scenes footage on DVDs, Blu-rays, that kind of thing. Or, you know, now you can go and get, you know, certain types of tutorials online and stuff. So it's really weird that you could, you know, learn this stuff. Obviously, you have to have the talent too.
Well, you know, it all stems from a love of wanting to create whatever that thing is that you're passionate about. And I think the fact that, you know, guys like us, we watch so many of these movies, there's only a matter of time before you say to yourself, I want to make one of these. And there's so much material out there now versus when I first started, for the younger generations to be able to see how they do this, or sign on to YouTube and pull up a video of what camera you need, or how to set your lighting, or what to do afterward to color correct, and all these things so you can get the vision that's in your head out.
Do you have a background in movie making at all either, or it'll be the first thing you're making? Oh, that's pretty wild.
No, my first feature film, Beast of the Water, was just an idea that I had about, what we're going on, 13, almost 14 years ago. And I kind of developed the story, developed the character, and then developed the story. And then I was able to meet some backers, financial backers, who are just like the sweetest, humblest people I've ever met. And my buddy had a three-film picture deal, and he made his first film, and he could have done 2 more, but he decided to bring me on to get the movie that I wanted to make made. And then that movie came out in 2019. It was released, called Beast of the Water. And after that, I was like, I just want to keep this going. I want to keep making things.
Yeah. Can people see that somewhere? Beast of the Water?
Yeah, they can see it on Hulu, or they can see it's on Amazon. They can find it on Amazon. You just type in Beast of the Water. It'll show you all the places that have it.
Okay, I'm looking forward to. I love the name too, Terror from Beyond Beyond. It seems like like an actual title from, you know, back in the 50s or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going for. We're going for that feel. You know, we've got this amazing composer, Cameron Moody. I don't know if you've checked out the Kickstarter, but there's the sample track that he made, which just has all that. Oh, man, it sounds like it's from an actual movie from the 50s. He did an amazing job in taking my concept and just making this sample track for it. So I'm really excited to get the footage, and, you know, once the Kickstarter is funded, to be able to get the footage to him so he can score the whole movie, because that's another big part of filmmaking. I don't know when's the last time. I want to say Tron is probably the last movie that I saw that I wanted the soundtrack as well. There's not really many movies now that you go watch and, you know, you're like, man, I love the movie. I love the soundtrack. I got to have it. And that's something that I feel is lacking in film. So it'll be cool to kind of spark that in somebody where they not only love the film, but they love the score as well.
Yeah. Now, had you worked with him before?
No, I did a post on Facebook, actually. I found a composers group. I let people know that I was starting up pre-production for the film, and if anybody had any samples or examples of their work that they thought would work for the film, he emailed me a sample of his track, and he nailed it first try.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And
Yeah.
the poster is amazing too. The I don't know who did the poster, but it's fantastic.
That is my friend and concept artist, Michael Empinet. He's an amazing artist, 2D and 3D, and just somebody who I go to mainly for my concept art or just to get something like that done, because he just gets it. You give him an idea and he's able to crank something like that out, which blew my mind and exactly what I wanted.
Yeah. So on the Kickstarter page, what are some of the things people can get? You know, some of the rewards.
Well, for the lower tiers, you could get a digital copy of the script, digital character art. When you start getting a little higher, you get the digital download for the film. There's a T-shirt. There's going to be a Terror from Beyond T-shirt that is going to be available. I'm actually working with Elliot Fernandez, who is a DC comic artist, or he did work for DC, who's going to be designing the shirt. And that's going to be, I'm going to be releasing that as an update when we get the final look for what that shirt's going to look like. And then when you start getting into the higher tiers, you start getting like the DVD or the Blu-ray, as well as props from the set. There's going to be a 12-inch maquette of the figure, of the monster that you can get. The puppet head is going to be available. And then when you get into like the higher tiers, you get either you can get a copy of the stop motion dinosaurs that are used for that little intro
awesome.
part.
Yeah.
Bust of the creature head, executive producer credit, speaking role, those kind of things. So it's sprinkled with some goodies.
Yeah. He said there'll also be like a guy in a suit playing some of them. That's right up my alley. So is it that monster that they have the puppet, or is it a different monster?
No, it's going to be that one.
Oh, wow. I can't imagine that as a suit, because it seems like it's a very long neck.
Oh, we've got it. We've got it all planned. It's going to be good.
Yeah. Do you know who will play the man? Do you want to be the man in the suit?
Oh yeah, I gotta be.
I would. I totally agree. Of course. Yeah.
I think that's partly why we got into this as well, is to maybe one day be the man in the suit. I mean, you hear all these terror stories of what it's like being in the creature suit, and then you're like, maybe not so much now.
Yeah, but it'll be something, and if you're not, you'll regret. You're like, well, why wasn't I the guy in the suit?
Well, I could always get in it and crawl around. That'll be fun. Just to experience
just in your spare time, right? Yeah. Now, are you the guy who designed the monster? How it's going to look?
Yep. I know my buddy mentioned using a seal for the base form. So I went with a leopard seal for the base, and then just started building up on that and trying to change it up in a way where it's reminiscent of a seal, but it has some exaggerated features.
Yeah. You said it was like I forget the exact number, 500 something pictures for like the few second clip.
Oh, the stop motion? It was 488 pictures.
So how much?
Never forget that number.
You should play that in the lottery or something. So. How long did that take? Not just taking the pictures, but then to animate and everything.
Well, luckily, the program that I used on my phone, which is called Stop Motion Pro, I think, it does it for you. You basically take the pictures, and it has a playback speed, which is anywhere from 1 to 30 frames a second. It'll play for you. So the actual record time, I don't know how long it took. I wish I would have timed myself, but I wasn't thinking. I was just all jazzed up from getting that shot done.
Yeah.
But I know it took a while, because I think for every 2 to 3 moves, I was taking one picture. Or no, for every 3 pictures, the camera was moving once. I think that was the breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, plus the time it took to build the track for the dolly, make sure that the lighting was good, and the dolly is basically a platform on wheels in this case, rollerblade wheels, that helps you get a smoother shot when you're doing like a panning shot or you want to move your camera from point A to point B. And then we just took some aluminum corners from Home Depot and screwed those into a board so that the camera could roll as smooth as possible. And I really, again, with something like that, I didn't want to get to like 250 pictures and then mess up and have to start all over.
That would suck. Yeah. Do over, but yeah, that would not be good.
I was one and done. I just wanted one and done, and I got it, and it looked great, and that was it.
Plus, wasn't there a building destroyed in one of the little videos?
Yes.
I assume you can't just rebuild that. I mean, you have to build another one, I guess.
Well,
or does it go back together? I don't know.
No. What that is I used a here, I'll go grab it 1 second.
All right.
So what I did was I used like these foam mats that you can get from like Walmart.
Right.
And I made a single side, and then I molded that with silicone, which is just this flexible material. And now what I can do is I can pour plaster in here.
All right.
And make plaster copies.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So these just kind of, you put them together and
smash
make and the way it works, you just kind of Dremel in some breaks into the back, because these are sturdy enough to where they'll hold their shape, but they won't break in a way that looks believable. So you just kind of Dremel the back of them and predetermined spots, and then when you smash it, it looks more realistic. So if you watch that video again, the wall that is, okay, if I'm watching the video, the wall that is like the broad side, that one I didn't do any Dremeling to. The one that's the far away side, that one did get Dremeled. So if you notice, that far away wall breaks a lot better than the first one did. But it's also deals with your plaster ratio and how thick you make it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of fun stuff like that.
Yeah. It says short, so do you roughly know how long the short will be? Because short can be a couple minutes to a half hour.
It's going to be somewhere closer to the, I want to say 15 to 20 minute mark. We would love to do more, but for the budget that we're asking, most of that is going to be going to the practical effects of it. So it's pretty much a classic story, and it's just going to be told in a way to where everything just kind of flows. And the idea is to be able to do this first one and then set the story up for another one, where we can potentially increase the budget, maybe ask for double this one, so we'd be able to do more with that other film.
Yeah. So, what would you do with the short once it's finished? Like, festivals, festivals are kind of weird at the moment. A lot of them are, virtual festivals or put online. What's the plan to do with it?
It'd be nice to do festivals once it's done. It won't be released anywhere like on YouTube or anything like that. Mainly because it's a tier item. People are paying for this,
right.
So
they don't
I don't want people to. I don't want people to be like, well, I could have just waited. I didn't even have to donate. So I think potentially festivals potentially get funding to do another part, but it just depends on how well this first one goes.
Yeah, I had a short last year at the festivals, and it was a great experience. And unfortunately, right now, it's the main thing I miss is going to the festivals or going to the movies in general.
Yeah, just being able to see the talent that's out there. I've been to one film festival in my career, and it was nice. It was nice to see when you're there promoting a film, you don't really get to see everyone's that's there, but we did get to see another film that was shown at the festival, and it was nice. It was really nice.
Yeah, and it's a good place to network with other filmmakers.
Mm-hmm. Afterwards, they've got the drinking and the food, the snacks and things like that. You get to talk to other people and, meet like-minded folk.
Exactly. Yeah. I highly recommend them for any level. If you just want to go there and watch stuff, they're great.
Mm-hmm.
If, like you said, if you're a filmmaker, you can interact and get to know other people and collaborate and make something else. So for whatever you're looking to do, and like you said, like-minded people, it's everyone who likes. I go to a lot of underground film festivals, so a lot of people like weird stuff, and it's good to find other weird people. So, where is the Kickstarter? You just look up Terror from Beyond Beyond.
Yeah, if you go to Kickstarter, just type in Terror from Beyond Beyond, or not even the whole Terror. If you the whole title. If you just type in Terror, it's one of the first ones that pops up.
Oh, very good.
I've got a link to it on my Instagram, and they should be able to find it relatively easily.
Yeah. And it's very cool. Honestly, not just you hear. The monsters are awesome. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, this is something I dig. And thank people. Yeah, when I shared the poster, everyone was loving the poster on the Facebook page.
Thank you. Yeah, it's just, again, being a fan of it myself and wanting to see it myself. It's just amazing that there are people out there who, like I said, like the same thing and want to see it happen. So I'll be sharing it after this, just so people can be able to find it. And if they could share as well, they don't even have to donate. If they can donate, that's 2 thumbs up. And if they can share it, that'll be 3 thumbs up.
Right, yeah. And like you said earlier, the zombies, like I grew up watching zombie movies. They're cool, but enough already. And enough evil clowns. Yeah. Let's have some giant monsters.
There's so much oversaturation of the zombies. Everything's like World Z this or Zombie that. And I feel like that all started happening after The Walking Dead. I guess people were trying to capitalize on the zombie thing, but it just gotten out of control now. And you don't really see, Godzilla was the last giant monster thing. I saw Underwater not too long ago, and spoiler alert for anybody watching. Now's the time to plug your ears. Did you see it?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. It was only a giant monster that lasts 5 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
So
it's basically Cthulhu at the end of the movie. But it's a very long build to the monster.
Yeah. And you don't really get to see it. It's shrouded in darkness most of the time, and it's like, why do they keep doing this in Hollywood? It's like,
I agree. When you see a monster movie, you want to see the monster.
You want to see the monster, and you got to see the small ones. I'm actually going to take my headset off here because I got to charge my phone.
All right, no problem.
So hopefully it doesn't mess with the audio.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Godzilla shirt, by the way, for the interview.
Are you going to get your audio?
Yeah, it's all good.
You hearing yourself is going to be...
Oh, no, I'm not hearing the feedback. I see what you're saying. Yeah. No.
Oh, okay, perfect. But yeah, you go to these movies because you want to see the monster, and you don't even see it to the last 5 minutes. And when you see it, it's just like, oh, that was...
Yeah, that might as well have been a short because you could have been 5 minutes. You're like, oh, okay, cool.
you would have gotten the whole idea in 5 minutes because it didn't really do anything that we haven't seen before, as well as again, I feel like that was just something I could have watched on TV, like a made-for-TV kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I was not I can't say it's a bad movie, but I was not a huge fan.
Yeah, it was entertaining. I didn't feel like I shouldn't have watched it, but I just, at the end, I was just like, I was expecting a little bit more from it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the best, the last big monster movie that I really liked. I'm not really. I'm sure there's something, but I actually like the new Godzilla movie, but I like the monsters in the new Godzilla movie, not so much the people in it, but
I feel like the only thing
I will say it was much better watching it on IMAX and on the big screen. At home, when I try to watch it again, it was not the same experience.
So we're gonna tread into some dangerous territory. I don't want to lose any fans by giving my opinion on on how I felt about those movies. And we'll just leave it at, I just have, no hope for this third one that's coming out. I've given up all hope. And until, I'm able to get the budget to make that kind of movie, I don't know. But anyway, on to bigger, positive, happy thoughts.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to. It's a really fun, small, very small budget. It's either queen crab or king crab, and it's a giant crab movie, and it's done in stop motion. It's a very fun movie. It's a really no budget movie, but it came out a few years ago. Just a few years ago, I had the director on, but I really liked it. Like, it was just a really throwback. With just a really big crab that stop motion going around eating people in the houses and stuff, or attacking houses. But
okay, I'll
really
have to check that out.
Yeah.
It sounds.
It was fun, It's just a fun movie.
It's almost like they did that movie. When did that movie come out? Stung. Did you see Stung?
Stung. I don't think so. Is
it's
that
the one where
up here? I imagine
the wasps are stinging people, and then bigger wasps grow inside them and break out, and then.
No, I've not seen that.
Had some really cool practical effects in it. That was entertaining. That one was fun. But I don't know. I don't think there's anything coming up that most productions are shut down now. So. I mean, there's nothing out there that we actually want to see, or that I actually want to see.
Yeah, there's a Crawl, not necessarily giant monster, but giant alligators or crocodiles.
Oh, the alligator movie, that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
When you get to doing like alligators or sharks, or when you leave it in the realm, that's almost like Bait. Did you see Bait?
No.
It's like Deep Blue Sea, but in a convenience store.
Oh, okay. No, I've not seen that.
I can't remember the year it came out, but if you look it up, I think it was called Bait. But it was very similar premise, that there's flooding or something like that, an earthquake or a hurricane, and it floods this convenience store, and there's like sharks swimming around the parking lot. And it's got some practical elements and some computer-generated elements as well. It was very entertaining.
Yeah. It was cool about Crawl, too, just personally, because the guys who wrote that, the Rasmussen brothers, are regulars at my local festival, the Boston Underground Film Festival. So it was really cool to see, local guys that I've met, get like a really big Sam Raimi produced movie out. So that was cool to see.
Nice. I would be any good in that situation. I would have just went to the highest possible room in the house and just stayed there as long as I could.
Yeah, this didn't dawn on me, but I've had people tell me who live in Florida that Florida doesn't have a basement, so the movie didn't make sense to anyone who actually lives in Florida. But I was like,
you get the people who are they get all technical on it,
right? I'm like, I don't think it doesn't really matter to my. I don't really watch a monster movie for total realism, I guess.
That's what happens when you get a good movie. You get the people who nitpick.
Mm-hmm.
We do the same thing. We're like, that movie was amazing, but I mean, do Florida houses have basements?
Right. I guess it depends what you're looking for in a movie, but it did. Yeah. I don't live in Florida either.
So. I didn't know we were watching this movie for architectural accuracy.
Right. It's totally ruined for me now.
The film is
the giant alligator movie.
It's Rend. They somebody was telling me about how they went to go watch Superman. Was it Superman Returns? I think it was Superman Returns. And basically the whole time they're watching the movie, everybody is quiet, enjoying the film. And there was a one shot where, the guy walks up to him point blank and shoots him in the eye, and the bullet like bounces off and nothing happens. And they said the guy behind them was like vocally announced how like, oh, come on, like that wasn't believable. Uh-huh. And it's like, here's a man flying around, picking things up that no person should be. Just all this stuff is believable, but that was the one thing that happened.
That's where he draws the line, right?
You cross the line.
Everything else was totally. the kryptonite and
The fact
laser
that he's
beams
from
out of his
space and
eyes.
he survived a collision with the Earth, and he's a baby and he's strong. None of that stuff mattered, but the fact that he got shot point blank in the eye and nothing happened.
I saw the same thing on Game of Thrones this year when the dragons like blew up the castle, and I saw people on Facebook. They were like, "Dragon breath wouldn't be hot enough to like melt stone or something," and I'm like, at this point, is that what you're really worried about? And
Yeah.
how do you know this? Are you a scientist on dragon fire? I don't know.
That's when they just started, because they don't have anything else. They have no ammo, so they make up their own ammo.
Yeah. But that's the internet, though. The internet, usually something is either the greatest thing that you've ever seen, or like you've totally wasted your life. There's no middle ground. No one's like, that was pretty good, or that wasn't so great. It's either the best or just the absolute worst thing they've ever seen.
Yeah.
But anyway, Terror from Beyond. Where can you follow that? Besides, you said it was on your Instagram, but what is your Instagram?
It is at Rashaad Santiago, so they can see. Can they see me? People can be able to see me.
Yeah.
So right there, it's on my shirt, holding it up for a couple seconds, just at that name, Rashaad Santiago. You should be able to find me on Facebook, on Instagram. We haven't done a Terror from Beyond page yet, but I think I should. I think I'll hop on that and make a Terror from Beyond Instagram page that has a link to the Kickstarter, and people can just follow and enjoy the journey with us.
Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more from it and seeing the movie. And I will probably, once the shirts are available, I will donate some to get this made and wear a very cool shirt.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, you're welcome. No, it really is cool. Not just to hear. When I saw it, I was like, this is definitely something that I'm into.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be pulling every trick out of the hat we can with this one. I would love to incorporate as much as we can with the budget that we have. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's been a lot of fun.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
And I'll talk to you soon.
Yes, you will.
Yep. Have a good day.
You too.
Thanks. Bye.